Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here again. I'm always contemplating ways that I could receive a message with such clarity that I could present it to you with perhaps the same kind of clarity. And not only do I walk away feeling really better, so do we all. And as that constantly responds, and I'm here today, this moment, to share it with you as it has been given to me. I'm thinking, you remember, at least those of you who are baby boomers. I don't know if you watch television that much now. And if you do, many of you probably watch those old programs that they used to play years ago when we were younger. And in that, we would see perhaps a lot of westerns. And I think back in those days, you would have a lot of westerns that gave a chance to show the military, the cavalry, as it were. I think the whole point was to get ingrained into the people's psyche the establishment of America, the things that had to be done in order to establish America. And one of them was to take the natives' land. And you saw how that was at least portrayed on television. The natives could have their tents pitched, and people coming from other parts of the country moving in for one reason or another, gold or just the farmland, a better way of life. And if they got somebody got in their way, which were the people who lived here, then they wanted to remove them. I mean, actually kill them, slaughter them, get rid of them out of the way. And the brave, uh, as the story goes, the brave ones would fight for what was right. But they were usually overwhelmed, but they fought to the end. And they went out feeling good. But eventually, there would be a group that would say, well, we can't beat this. And so it's better to be a slave than to be dead and buried in a grave. And so you could see the depiction of them when they're coming back with their heads hanging down and they're moved to reservations. And you feel so sorry for them. And if you're black, you really can understand it, but it seems that things out of perspective because you too were slaves, are slaves. You were brought in to be slaves, to be a tool for others, and you were raised like that, taught like that, and it ingrained into the psyche of people of color that that's just their light in life. And you see, you say freedom came, and then you were supposed to have gotten 40 acres and a mule, and none of that stuff happened, and you were supposed to get rights, and that didn't happen. Jim Crow and all this, everything happened. And you, as a slave, being taught to be a slave, just accepted it as being normal, with the hope that one day things are going to change. Like one day a cloud is going to open and Jesus is going to return, and there's going to be a heaven someplace else. All these kinds of things, has been ingrained into our psyche that allows us to be satisfied with the conditions of our lives. We are not told the kind of truths that would free us from this bondage. We are not told who we really are. We are not told that there's not one human being on the face of the earth that is more powerful than another individual. Why? Because every individual got the same right to life, and each individual got the same right to die whenever they choose to. Not necessarily when someone else chooses to, or not necessarily someone else influences, but rather the right to choose to live or die. Nobody got anything above that. And the only power that is above you, the individual, is an invisible power that we call God. It is invisible power, but we are not stupid. We know we didn't make ourselves. There's a power that is responsible for us being here. And we accept the fact that if that power can do that, then that power has put us in a place where we can do what we do. But at the same time, we understand that that power has given us the understanding and how to deal with situations of life that would tell us whether we want to go forward or whether we want to stop right here. I was just thinking, what does that say about the human race? We got the natives who acquiesced and decided to accept slavery. We got the people of color, blacks, who finally recognize that they are slaves and still are slaves. And you got the whole human race, just as much a slave as the natives are, just as much as slaves as blacks are. The whole human race are slaves to the systems of the world. In some of those systems, people are being hung for standing up for what's right. In some of those systems, people are being murdered, assassinated for standing up for what is right. You stand up for what's right, which will give you heaven on earth. And all of the powers that be says no way. And you give your power to that because of your fear of death. Something you cannot run from. Every last one of us are destined to die. But how you die, when you got the choice, why not die for standing up for what's right? Why not die for standing up for what's love? And that is that all of us have the benefits that have been designed for us from the beginning by a power that was magnificent enough, cared enough to put us here, prepare for us, and then put the rest in our hands. We create heaven or hell. And we are doing quite destructive stuff in creating hell. My plea has been and is been, let us create heaven now, not tomorrow. Let us not try to go back to the way things were. Let us make things as best we can possibly imagine them to be. Together, let us do that. All right? Think about that. All right? Talk to you later.